I'm sure I have more than one, but my first day in the Senate, I'll never forget it, February 1st, 2005. My wife was there, my family, friends, supporters, and Senate President Jones was in the chair, and he called on me just to have a few words to say hello to my new colleagues. And I stood on the Senate floor, and I had done a tremendous amount of public speaking in my career up to that point, but I stood up on the Senate floor for the first time with a hot mic, and I absolutely whiffed. It was so embarrassing. I mumbled and stumbled, and I forget exactly what came out of my mouth, but it was not inspiring. So I knew I could only improve from that day forward, and it was a humbling lesson, and I realized the magnitude of the job and the pressure of the job, and frankly, the challenge of getting up and speaking in the Senate, on the floor with my colleagues in the room, and thankfully, I think it got better after that. The obvious ones, right? Be visible, be accessible, make sure that you're responding to your constituents. So that's number one. Number two, be very thoughtful before committing. Do your homework, understand the issues, and never commit until you're sure how you're going to vote. And then number three, and this goes for, in my opinion, most elected officials, should always be cognizant of the fact that constituents want you to listen to them. They want to be heard. They understand you have a lot of knowledge. They understand that you might have some bright ideas. But what they really want is they want to be listened to. They want to be heard. And I would stress those three things. Again, my first week on the job, understanding the flow of traffic that comes into your Senate office in the Capitol, it was overwhelming. I mean, it was literally a revolving door. Every 10 minutes there was someone new that was coming by, wanting to say hello, wanting to introduce themselves, and wanting to introduce me to their issues. So the steep learning curve, I'll never forget it. And the good news is if you study and you listen and you absorb, you reach out and talk closely with your staff and your colleagues and your constituents. After the first month or two, I started to feel like, okay, I think I can do this. But it was overwhelming in the beginning, and I'm sure that my successor will feel that way. And the good news is it's normal. I'm sure every person that served in the state Senate felt that way at first, and then you get the flow of it, you get the rhythm of it, and it gets much better. When you go to the store, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to the mall, even with your family, your constituents have an expectation that they should be able to reach out to you and talk to you about an issue that's important to them, even with your kids and your wife right there. So being on 24/7, not having that sense of privacy, I certainly won't miss that. But at the same time, I enjoy serving. I've enjoyed it very much these last 7 years. And so whenever a constituent were to approach me, I didn't shy away from engaging, even if it was in the Jewel parking lot, because I felt like that was my job. It was my job to be accessible and to listen and to be concerned about what's on the minds of my constituents. So I will miss having the great honor of serving a community that has been home for our family for 5 generations. My children are 6th generation Joliet. So I'll miss that. In not representing the people of the 43rd District and the great honor and privilege I felt serving here in the state Senate. So I'll miss that quite a bit, and I'll certainly miss having the camaraderie with my colleagues. I know I'm not going too far away, and I'll continue to talk to my colleagues both in the Senate and the House, and I look forward to that. I'll always remember the good times we had working hard on behalf of constituents, having fun along the way, and trying to represent the state of Illinois to the best of our ability.